Thank you both. Oh, I just got the recording thing. Thank you both, Joy and Erica, for hosting me. I also want to thank the sponsors, Augustine Educational Foundation and the Sacred Hearts Academy in Honolulu. And then a special thank you to all of you who have carved out the time on a Saturday to continue your learning and your dedication to all the students that you work with in whatever capacity that may be. So we will do a little bit of practicing, as this is a yoga and mindfulness workshop. There will be some exercises that we do. I've got a chair behind me that I'm going to go and sit in later for those. So know that all the movement can be done utilizing a chair. Of course, I would love for anyone willing to turn the camera on when we get to those moments would be awesome, just so I can interact with you a little bit more. But I also want to honor and respect any decision that you decide to keep your camera off. Other than that, we'll be doing kind of a mix of a slideshow, and then, as I mentioned, some of these yoga and mindfulness practices. I do want to remind everyone up front, before I forget, there was a Google link for a form sent out particularly for this workshop. And if you click on that link, you will have an opportunity to download the toolkit. So it's a free toolkit, and it will also give us the email so we can send this slideshow presentation to you once this has concluded, so that you have access to it. Okay. Oh, great. Okay, thanks, Erica. Erica is letting me know it didn't come through. I'm going to try and copy paste to everybody right now. Here we go, everyone. And there you are. All right, so just switching over to, actually, let's begin with something I like to call a time in. And a time in is really just an opportunity to press pause on whatever you're doing. As much as you are able, find a moment for yourself. And we'll do that by just finding a comfortable seat. You can choose to maybe turn your eyes away from the screen, especially if you've been watching a lot going on today. You can take a soft focus away. If you're comfortable enough, you're welcome to close your eyes. And I just want you to place one hand on your chest or your heart space, and then your other hand can come down towards your belly. And just begin by noticing what that feels like to connect with yourself, to take the time to just be in this moment without necessarily trying to change anything, having compassion for yourself, non-judgment, just allowing thoughts to come and go. And let's take a breath in together. So take a deep breath in through your nose. And then a long breath out. One more time, just like that. Full breath in. Full breath out. Now on your next inhale, breathe into your hand that is right by your chest. As you breathe in, feel that breath move down towards your belly. And then as you breathe out, feel the release of the air from your belly up through your chest. Again, inhale, chest, lungs, belly. Exhale, belly, lungs, chest. And just take this 2 more times on your own. Once more. And then just returning to a normal breath. Maybe blinking your eyes if they were closed. Taking your hands away from your body. Roll your shoulders a couple of times. And then roll them in the opposite direction. Perfect. And then we'll take what we call an ocean breath all together. So breathe in, sweep your arms up to the sky, press your palms together. And then as you breathe out, the hands can come down. Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, so I'm going to switch over to share screen, and that way we can begin the slideshow. I am going to be looking over to the side, and this is to just look at my second screen. I promise I'm not staring out of the window. Okay, enjoy, you disappeared, but can I have you back for one moment to just confirm you can see the slides?
Yes, can
Thank
see
you very
you.
much. Perfect, appreciate that. So building community connections and relationships, focusing specifically on yoga and mindfulness practices that support social emotional learning. My name is Harmony Tesoro, as everyone kindly introduced, and I'm the education specialist for Yoga Ed. Specifically, I teach the Teaching Children's Yoga course, so grades pre-K through 5th grade. But I've also worked with grades 6 through 12, and I'm also trained within trauma-informed yoga as well. So school is where many children are feeling a deep sense of community, connection, and comfort with their teachers and their peers. The same is true for us as educators. In distance learning, what has become apparent is that underneath the academic checkboxes is a deep sense of care for our students. With limitations currently of distance, we still feel that deep sense of helplessness to be able to connect with our students in the same capacity that we were doing in a physical space. So social emotional learning, or also called SEL, emphasizes the importance of connection and community. When we allow connection and community through an SEL lens to be the foundation of our classrooms, we're connecting everybody, you and your students, allowing for everyone to feel safe and secure before you get to academics. Now, no, this doesn't mean that you deprioritize academics. It just simply means that SEL becomes part of your academic learning plan. So what we moved through a moment ago is called complete breath. As I mentioned, this is referred to sometimes as a time in, which is really that moment to take time inward for yourself, and your students can do the same. Oftentimes, we as educators need that pause, that breath, that opportunity to reconnect with our mind and body so that we can then show up in the best way we can for our students. So it's for you and your students. So again, why social emotional learning? Social connection motivates us to live, work, and play together. Because we're a social species, our brains are hardwired to connect with others, and we strive to identify the thoughts, feelings, and intentions of others. Why yoga and mindfulness? So here at Yoga Ed, social emotional learning is the heartbeat of our classrooms. It's the foundation for which our curriculum and our philosophy have emerged to support educators across the entire globe. Yoga and mindfulness can also be powerful ways to increase the positive social experiences. So think about associating learning with play, creativity, movement, and the ability to identify how you are in relationship with yourself and how ultimately that will impact how you are in relationship with others. Yoga and mindfulness can equip you and your students with the social skills in distance learning, as well as modified on-campus learning environments. So the toolkit that I mentioned that accompanies this workshop has been designed for you as educators in mind. And it's simple tools that you can use throughout your in-person or online school day to create those community connections and build relationships between you and your students. All these activities can be done within limited space, utilizing the floor or a chair as support. So as I mentioned, behind me, you'll see my little setup. And so for any of the activities, we'll be doing those together. So these are the 5 core competencies of SEL. Let's take a moment, and if you would, please use the chat box and let me know which one of these happens to resonate with you, or even if you're newer to this, which one stands out to you the most. So feel free to just drop that into the chat box for me. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. So I'm seeing responsible decision-making, self-management, self-awareness a few more times. Yes. Christina, students need this before they can do the others. Beautiful. Relationship skills, self-management. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, for contributing. All of the above. Yes. And so what we're seeing here, and I love that this sort of naturally emerged from what you're all sharing, is that even though I've ordered them in this way, and this is sort of the order that they're shared with us, as Christina pointed out, they all kind of start to come together. There's a lot of crossovers. Yes, you need to kind of have a sense of self-awareness so that you can manage yourself. But in managing yourself, you also can become more self-aware. So there's so much sort of blending, I think, that comes together in these. Now, I want you to take one more moment, and if you would be willing to share in the chat box, that would be great. How do these, or how does the one you particularly chose, show up already in your day? How is it showing up for you? How is it showing up for your students? What does that look like in your classroom currently? And just as we're waiting for some ideas to come in, one thing that I can share is just this idea of taking the time in. So for me, before I do anything with any of my students, I always make sure to first check in with myself. So before I'm entering the Zoom room, before I show up, I take a few moments for myself so that I can check in, notice what's going on in my body, notice what's going on in my thoughts. Do I need to drink water? Do I need to eat something? Do I need to do a few deep calming breathing exercises? How can I make sure that I'm taking care of myself before I enter the space? Okay, great. We got them coming through. So staying on schedule, providing time to regroup. Thanks, Terry. The desire to self-regulate when they are being aware of their behavior. Beautiful, Adriana. Thank you. And Christina, we do an emotional check-in every morning so that they can identify where they are at and identify why. Beautiful. Yeah, so not just what, but why. And then Sarah, students do a check-in survey. Awesome. Yeah, I've seen some really wonderful ways that this has come to life. So what we're going to do for the remainder of our time together, it's going so fast already, is a little bit of practice and a little bit of understanding each of these competencies a little bit more. And just like someone shared a moment ago, understanding the why these tools are supporting each of these competencies specifically. So again, I invite you to join, especially to sort of embody what it is that we're discussing. But of course, I respect all of your spaces. All right. So self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to accurately recognize one's own emotions, thoughts, and values, and how they influence our behavior, right? So we kind of got that a little bit in some of the reflections earlier. So instead of reacting blindly to experience, so reaction, self-awareness gives us that mental space to slow down, examine our thoughts objectively. And then this creates perspective and freedom to be able to choose the most effective path. What do I need in this moment to be successful as a teacher? What will help me help my students to become successful in this moment? And then I just want to emphasize, each of these slides just kind of gives you a little tidbit of a little bit more of the why. So, it's really interesting. Practicing self-awareness actually physically rewires your brain. So there's a lot of evidence coming forth from the neuroscience field and within yoga, and seeing how the brain, thinking of, I won't get into this too much, it's one of my favorite topics, but how the brain, through neuroplasticity can actually change depending on our experiences. And self-awareness is one of those experiences. So the next thing we're going to do is a practice. So let me just, trying to make sure I can see myself. Okay, there we go. So I invite you, if you have a chair, to please move to your chair. And you can just take a comfortable seat, whatever that may look like to you. And then take your hands and place them down on your thighs. And then just for a moment, maybe lift one leg up, stretch the other leg out. And then try to sit up nice and tall in your body. So grounding breath, what we're going to do is really focus on the connection between our feet and the floor. So tap your right leg for me. On your breath in, lift that leg up just an inch. And on your breath out, press it down into the floor and really feel each part of your foot connect. Nice. Tap your opposite leg. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. We'll do that one more time each side. So inhale, lift the leg up just 1 inch. Exhale, plant your foot, stretch your toes, reconnect. Inhale, lift your opposite leg up. Exhale, reconnect, press down. One more time each side. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, breath in and breath out. And then just take a moment to notice, do you feel the ground underneath of you a little more? And if not, that's okay. But press your feet down into the earth beneath you. Sit up a little taller. Sit up a little bit more proud. Beautiful. Feel free to stay in your chair. I'm going to switch slides and then we will come back to another practice in just a moment. So self-management. Self-management is all about shifting from who and how you are being into who and how you want to be. So in other words, it's about regulating your emotions, your thoughts, and your behaviors throughout the ebbs and flows that are naturally going to occur throughout the day. Self-awareness and self-management feed into one another, as was reflected earlier. If you aren't tuned into what's going on with your own mental state, it's easier to overreact or get carried away by an unproductive emotion or train of thought. So whether you're stressed, tired, restless, excited, being able to manage your emotional and mental state will lead you to focus and the ability to stay organized, motivated, and resilient. So the next pose we're going to do is called Peacock or wide angle pose. So for this one, again, your choice. I'm going to angle the camera down just a little bit. You're actually going to sit on the floor. So that I don't have my back to you, I'm going to move my chair slightly. And you're going to sit right next to your chair. And then you can take your legs through either side. Again, make use of whatever space you do have. You want to create some space between your feet. And then sitting up nice and tall, take your hands and I want you to place them where it's comfortable. So maybe that means resting them on the chair in front of you, maybe holding forearms and even taking a gentle forward fold. You can also hold onto the chair and just stay upright. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now for a moment, tune in. Notice any sensations in your body. Notice any emotions or thoughts that are connected to those feelings. Maybe you're feeling tight in your legs. Maybe you're feeling tired from a long day, a little hungry. And then choose in this moment how you want to spend the next however many more minutes we have left together. One more breath in and one more breath out. Wherever you are in the space, whether you're folded forward or sitting up, just slowly make your way out. And we'll come back together. So just quickly, an alternate option if you're really limited on space could be to sit in your chair, and you can just kick out your legs this way. Bring your palms together. If you have a desk in front of you, you can rest your hands, your head and forehead on the desk. Okay. So social awareness, stepping outside of your own experience and into someone else's shoes. This requires the ability to see the world from a different perspective and empathize with others, including those from diverse backgrounds and cultures. When children and teens learn to recognize and appreciate the richness that comes from that diversity, they are going to grow up to foster a more just and equitable future for all. By strengthening their social awareness skills, you are helping them to create the possibility for more authentic compassion and connection for one another. Okay, so this next activity, I'm actually going to jump out of share screen for a moment, is a guided visualization. So what that means is that I want you to find a comfortable seat. So if you want to, maybe sit on the floor, change it up a little bit. If you need to stand, whatever you need to do in this moment, please find a space where you can come into a place of a little more stillness as I read this to you. Let's start by reconnecting with our breath. Take a full big breath in and a full deep breath out. First, I'm just going to share some words. Feel free, after you hear my voice pause, to say those words to yourself. I invite you to. In my community, I am important. In my school, I am learning. In my mind, I am present. In my body, I am changing. In my heart, I am strong. In my life, I matter. So this next time we go through, I'd like you to do a little bit of movement with me. Just further making that connection between the body and the mind. I'll do, and then you can repeat. In my community, I am important. In my school, I am learning. In my mind, I am present. In my body, I am changing. In my heart, I am strong. In my life, I matter. And then just wherever you are, take a full deep breath in, full deep breath out. Great. Thank you for the hearts. And just a quick note, this script is actually part of the toolkit, so you can actually have it to read, and it even tells you what the movement instructions are. Okay, great. Let me get back to our share screen. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Okay. So now we move into relationship skills. Relationship skills refer to the capacity to build and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships with others. Relationship skills start with you. Your ability to build healthy and rewarding relationships with your students is going to inspire them to be able to do the same. Students naturally absorb the way you communicate. So over time, they will integrate the way you've communicated to them into other relationships in their lives. So when we think of communication, we're thinking of listening, active listening, listening with empathy, clarifying what you want to say, and seeking help when needed. Okay. I'm so excited for this next part. And, you know, it's going to be very interesting for me because I don't normally do this to no other faces. I normally have kids or teens or other adults jump up and do this. So if you are feeling just a little bit brave, I would encourage you to join me because this is a movement game. So we're going to play what's called Strike a Yoga Pose. The instructions for the game are I'm going to play some music and tell you how to move around. So that could just mean like standing up and sitting down if you have small space. If you want to just walk around, that works too. And then when the music stops, we're going to kind of go back towards our chair and freeze in a pose that I'll call out and demonstrate. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Maybe some virtual thumbs up if anyone has the little emoji capability. And then I'm going to share our music. Okay, here we go. Thanks. Okay, hold on. Where's my, there it is. Okay. And I'm happy to share this playlist with anyone later. All right, I can't see anybody, so I'm trusting you. Let's go ahead and we're going to stand up and we're going to move really slowly, okay? So wherever you are, just moving really slowly in the space. And maybe you want to lift up or lift down. Stretch a little bit. And freeze. Okay, go to your chair. And we're going to take something called tree pose. So make a little kickstand with your foot and then reach your arms up like you're the branches of a tree. And then take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Perfect. Okay, let's go again. This time I want you to move like you're stepping on something really hot. See if you can move a little faster. And freeze. Nice. Okay, this next one is called star pose. So you're going to jump out and you're going to make 5 points of a star. Nice. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Awesome. Okay, one more time. This time I want you to imagine you're swimming under the water, like in the ocean. Maybe you see a shark and swim a little faster. Oh, you got away. Phew. And freeze. This time, take a seat in your chair and we're going to do a twist. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Let's go ahead and do the other side just so we're balancing our body. Big breath in, big breath out. Woohoo! Thanks, everyone. Erica, thanks for jumping in. I could see someone. I appreciate that. Okay, great. Woohoo! All right. Thanks, everybody. So again, just to reiterate, all of these practices are considered the tools, and those tools are outlined with instructions, a little bit more about the why. They're connecting to the SEL competency so that you can really feel like you can take that tool and put it into practice right away. Okay, responsible decision-making. Responsible decision-making describes the ability to make healthy decisions regarding personal behavior and social interactions that are based on ethical standards, safety concerns, and social norms. In making constructive choices, it's important to consider personal values, but also to take responsibility for how our actions may affect others. Children and teens often feel that they have no control or power to make decisions in their lives because of their age. While boundaries are important, giving students chances to make their own choices helps them to develop sound decision-making skills for a lifetime. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Just gonna head back to my chair one more time. Couple of modifications and options here for this one. So option 1, you can cross one leg over the other. Option 2, you can bring your foot up into the chair with you. And option 3, you can just cross one foot over the other ankle and have like a little, I don't know, kickstand sort of thing. So you choose yours. And then place your hands where it feels supportive. Always come back to the breath. Notice how this pose is feeling, and then choose what would make it feel better. Again, maybe that means taking a slightly different variation. Maybe choose to take deeper breaths. Maybe choose a different place for where your hands are. Whatever you decide, let's take a full cycle of breath together. Deep breath in through your nose and out. One more time in and out. Slowly and gently release your leg from wherever you decided to place it. Give it a little shake, a little wiggle, extend your leg, and then let's do the other side. So again, your choice, you decide what's going to feel best for you in this moment. And then once you've found that position, check in with your body, decide if there's anything else you need to do to make this even just a little more comfortable. And then bring your awareness to your breath. Full deep breath in. Full deep breath out. One more time in. And out. As you are ready, replace both feet back on the floor. Sit up tall for a moment. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Great. Okay. Oh, I'm at the 10-minute mark exactly. Woohoo! Because it's time for Q&A. So that concludes just the sort of official presentation aspect of this. I do want to let everyone know, and Erica, maybe you can drop this into the chat. We are offering all of you a very unique coupon code. So let me back up. I just get too excited. part of my job is to teach the Teaching Yoga to Children's course. We also have other courses. We have Teaching Yoga to Teens. We have a trauma-informed yoga for youth class. We also have what's called mindful practices, which is chair yoga. So which is a lot more of what you see me do today. And that's really been designed for the educator in mind, because we're thinking about a classroom type environment with desks, potentially chairs, etc. We wanted to give all of you the opportunity to take one of those courses with a coupon code for $50 off any single course. And so that coupon code is my name, Harmony, and then 50. And I'll put it into the chat, or Erica, if you could drop that into the chat, that would be awesome. So here's our website, yogaed.com. Feel free to go there. You can click on trainings. You'll see we have lots of free resources for educators. We also do have these sort of training courses for you to utilize and access. We also have a library of online classes. So literally, if you know that you want to start to integrate yoga and mindfulness into your classroom, but you yourself aren't feeling as prepared to teach it, and maybe you actually just want to take the class too, we have an online library of over 400 classes, where you can literally just press play and sit down, and the teacher is there, it pops up, there's other students in the video, so you get that sense of community and your students can join in. So there's lots and lots of options and opportunities if you check out yogaed.com. And then that's the email if you want to reach out, if you're curious about continuing education, or you want an info packet about anything, or just, I don't know, any questions at all, info@yogaed.com. Yay. Okay. Yep, that's perfect. Thanks, Erica. So yeah, just my name, Harmony 50. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Just to make you want to really make sure you find that toolkit, I wanted to quickly show you what it looks like, and then we'll have the rest of the time for questions, because I think this is going to make you really excited. Of course, I'm biased, but so you'll get this PDF, this beautiful PDF. It goes through, sort of an introduction to social emotional learning, talks about each of the competencies and the sort of why and how we're connected. And then, as I mentioned, full picture illustrations of what this looks like and how to teach each of it, including the specific benefits. So just I'll show you a few more. Okay, so this full 13-page toolkit, here's the script for the I Am affirmation, is going to be there for you so long as you fill out that Google survey. Great, and Erica shared that as well. Okay, questions?
We do have
comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. We do have one in the chat, Harmony. Adriana is asking if the toolkit, if the picture poses are available. And I did see that. So is it kind of like all the ones you were showing us would have all the pictures, like the example you showed on the PDF?
They do, yeah. Okay. So they'll show exactly like, so like you saw the grounding breath, it actually shows like pose 1, pose 2 with the leg lift and lower. There's also verbal instructions as well. And then the only one that it doesn't show necessarily a picture is the affirmation. But that one you can, feel free to use the movements that I showed. You can make up your own movements. Sometimes it's fun to ask the kids to create the movements for you, and then you do it kind of all together. Okay, any other questions? Oh, good. I'm loving the feedback. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, sometimes the kids like being animals, totally. So a lot of yoga poses have been named after things that were seen in nature. And so, and the, the idea was to connect to the qualities in which they were observing. So, cow and cat pose, like I feel like is one of the go-tos for yoga poses in terms of, or tree pose, mountain, triangle. So like objects and things in nature. Awesome. So I know we have just a few minutes. If there's any other questions. Great. Adriana, I do incorporate yoga brain breaks. Woohoo! How many times a week would you recommend for kindergarten? That's a great question. When I was working in a kindergarten classroom, we did this daily. And oftentimes what we would do is like one mini thing. So like maybe we just do a breathing exercise, and that would be like after recess and we're coming back and we kind of need to refocus. I would choose to do a breathing exercise that was like specifically meant to help focus in order to help us make that transition together. Other times then we would, do like a visualization before nap time, if nap time is still something that's happening. I'm thinking, more of a physical space classroom if that's the case. But honestly, the more you can do it, they start asking for it too. And they want to have that body, mind, breath opportunity. Yeah, Terry. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Erica,
sorry. I
was
was
that
just
you?
gonna, yeah, I was just gonna let you know, but you got it. You're on it.
Oh, okay. When might we expect the toolkit? So my hope is to send this all off to you by Monday, hopefully, if not Tuesday at the latest. And really, it's just going to be me making sure that I've got everybody's emails so that I can send it all out at once. Welcome, Terry. Adriana, do you have ideas for children who are a little hot-tempered in a yoga corner to calm themselves? Yeah. So Adriana, I assume you're a kindergarten teacher or early elementary. Okay. So one of the things we offer in our teacher training has actually a lot to do with like positive classroom management and behavioral management, and it's understanding where students are at developmentally. So like what's happening in their bodies, like anatomy, physiology, what's going on in their brains, what's been developed, what's still under construction, and like utilizing that information, it helps us to make those sort of more informed decisions about how we respond. So the moment you say, a child with a hot temper in the yoga corner, they're probably in their what we call like flip their lid state, which is very real and authentic to being a kindergartner. And they don't necessarily have that part of their brain to be able to self-regulate yet. So what we recommend oftentimes, especially if you do have a little corner or space available, give them some images. Like, so maybe you have a couple images of what the ocean breath looks like, or or if it's a space where they can like maybe put their legs up on the chair and take like a restorative pose. Restorative poses trigger the relaxation response really quickly. So to forward folds, which are really, that's kind of more the science behind yoga. And it helps them to sort of automatically switch from that fight flight into rest and digest, which can be really helpful when they are, dysregulated. So I recommend like images, breathing exercises, or actually have them, have it become part of your classroom routine of, if you go to, the yoga space, the yoga corner, the yoga chair, they know exactly what their options are, and that's going to help them get into that place of self-regulation. Awesome.
Should we go ahead and close the recording? And you can stay in the room if you want to.
Sure. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't see any other questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for allowing me to do what I love. It's such a privilege and such a pleasure to be able to share my passions. Again, if you have any questions, info@yogaed.com. check us out, yogaed.com, use that coupon code, and I hope to see you soon.
Mahalo to Harmony and to everyone who participated. We hope that you'll find this session helpful. And I put a link in the chat if you could please help us complete the evaluation. And you will be entered to win one of $25 Starbucks gift cards. I keep messing up that. But anyways, thanks again for being here today. We have 1 more hour or 45 minutes of 5 more sessions. So please feel free to join. And again, thank you everyone. And thank you to Harmony.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, everyone.